Hello students, in our previous session of chapter number 12, that is photosynthesis, we have learned regarding CAM pathway. Now in this session we are going to learn regarding the different factors which affect the process of photosynthesis. Now the first factor affecting the process of photosynthesis are external factors. Now there are different external factors which affect the rate of photosynthesis, in which the first one is light. So you know that sunlight is one of the essential factor for the process of photosynthesis. So this light or sunlight supplies energy which is necessary for photosynthesis. You know that sunlight energy is converted into chemical energy during the process of photosynthesis. Similarly, both quality as well as the light intensity affect the process of photosynthesis. Now here in this graph we can see that as the light intensity increases, the rate of photosynthesis also increase. So here is light intensity and here we can see a rate. So this rate increases as the intensity of light increases. Now highest rate of photosynthesis takes place or it occurs in red rays or red light, and then it occurs in blue rays or blue light. Now in a forest canopy, now forest canopy means there are different large trees and there are small trees as well as shrubs. So these shrubs as well as small trees are beneath or they are below the shade of the larger trees. So these larger trees form a shade on the smaller trees, and this is called as canopy. So in a forest canopy, the rate of photosynthesis decreases considerably in plants growing under it. So the plants which are present below the larger trees, they do not get enough sunlight. So in such plant, the rate of photosynthesis decreases. Then in most of the plant, photosynthesis is maximum in bright and diffused, means the sunlight which is scattered. So in most of the plants, the photosynthesis is maximum in bright diffused sunlight. Now the rate of photosynthesis decreases in a strong light and again slows down in the light of very low intensity. That means here we can see as the light intensity increase, the rate of photosynthesis increase up to a certain extent. But when the light intensity is higher, the rate again slows down. As well as when the light intensity is less, the process of photosynthesis slows down. So proper amount of light is necessary to carry the process of photosynthesis. Then the next essential factor which affects the rate of photosynthesis is carbon dioxide. Now you know that carbon dioxide is essential for the process of photosynthesis. Now the main source of carbon dioxide to the plants is the atmosphere, and the atmosphere contains only 0.3% of carbon dioxide. So under normal conditions of temperature and light, carbon dioxide acts as a limiting factor in photosynthesis. That means as there is increase in the concentration of carbon dioxide, the photosynthesis rate increases. Now the increase in concentration of carbon dioxide up to 1% is useful to most of the plants. Here in this graph we can see that as the concentration of carbon dioxide increases, the rate of photosynthesis also increase. But higher concentration of carbon dioxide has inhibitory. Inhibitory means the rate of photosynthesis is slowed down or it may stop. So higher concentration of carbon dioxide has inhibitory effect on the rate of photosynthesis. So in this graph we can see as the concentration of carbon dioxide increase, the photosynthesis also increase. Then the next factor affecting the rate of photosynthesis or the process of photosynthesis is temperature. Now photosynthesis needs a suitable or proper temperature. Then in presence of plenty of light or sunlight and carbon dioxide, the photosynthesis increases also with the rise in temperature till it becomes maximum. After that, there is a decrease or fall in the rate of process. So, a proper temperature is required for the process of photosynthesis. If the temperature exceeds or increases from the optimum temperature, then the rate of photosynthesis decreases. So, the optimum or proper temperature at which photosynthesis is maximum is from 25 to 30 degrees Celsius. Though in certain plants like Opuntia, you know that Opuntia is a xerophytic plant. So in Opuntia, photosynthesis takes place at as high as the temperature, that is 55 degrees Celsius. So the high temperature is known as maximum temperature. Then the temperature at which the process just starts is the minimum temperature. That means when the process of photosynthesis starts at a particular temperature, it is called as minimum temperature. So temperature is one of the essential external factors which affect photosynthesis. Then the next important essential external factor for photosynthesis is water. Now you know that water is essential for the photosynthesis. Now an increase in water content of the leaf results in the corresponding increase in the rate of photosynthesis. That means as the amount of water in the leaf increase, the rate of photosynthesis also increase. Thus, the limiting effect of water is not direct but it is indirect. It is mainly due to the fact that it helps in maintaining the turgidity of the assimilatory cells. That means the cells which carry photosynthesis and the proper hydration of their protoplasm. That means water provides hydration to the cell as well as protoplasm. So water is one of the essential factor for the process of photosynthesis. So you know that during photosynthesis, water is utilized and hydrogen is obtained from water which combines with carbon dioxide to produce food material. So water is essential for photosynthesis. Now we will see the internal factors affecting photosynthesis. The rate of photosynthesis is proportional to the quantity of chlorophyll present. That means the rate of photosynthesis depends upon the quantity or amount of chlorophyll present. Then the final product in the photosynthesis reaction is sugar and its accumulation in the cells slow down the process of photosynthesis. Now you know that during photosynthesis, sugar is produced, and this sugar is accumulated or it gets stored in the cells, and due to which, as proper amount of sugar is present in the cells, the process of photosynthesis later on slows down. Similarly, the process of photosynthesis depends upon the thickness of the cuticle. Now you know that cuticle is a covering present on the leaves made up of cutin. Then it depends upon the thickness of epidermis, that is outermost layer of the leaf. Then the size and distribution of intercellular spaces, that means the spaces present in between the cells, and the distribution of the stomata. Now you know that stomata are present on the leaves for gaseous exchange as well as to remove excess of water from the plant. So it also plays important role in the process of photosynthesis and development of the tissue, that is chlorenchyma, and other tissues also affect the rate of photosynthesis. So these are the some internal factors which affect the rate of photosynthesis. Then we will see the next topic, that is Blackman's law of limiting factors. Now Blackman was a scientist who proposed the law, that is Blackman's law of limiting factors. Now the Blackman's law of limiting factor states that when a process is conditioned its rapidity by a number of separate factors, the rate of process is controlled by the pace of the slowest factor. That means the slowest factor is that factor which is present in the lowest or minimum concentration in relation to others. That means, for example, in photosynthesis, the law of limiting factor can be explained by taking two external factors such as carbon dioxide and light. Now limiting factor means when any one of the factor is available in low amount, then even though the other factors are in proper proportion, due to this factor which is available in low amount, it affects the rate of the process, that is photosynthesis. So suppose a plant photosynthesizing at a fixed light intensity, that means at a fixed amount of the light intensity is sufficient to utilize 10 milligram of carbon dioxide per hour only. Now on increasing the CO2 concentration, the photosynthetic rate also goes on increasing. You know that as the concentration of carbon dioxide increases, the rate of photosynthesis also increased. But if the concentration of carbon dioxide is further increased, there will be no increase in the rate of photosynthesis. That means when a particular factor increases, then it is helpful up to a certain extent only. Thus in this case light becomes the limiting factor. Now limiting factor means the factor which slows down a particular process. So under such circumstances the rate of photosynthesis can be increased only by increasing the light intensity. So this evidently shows that the photosynthetic rate responds to one factor alone at a time That means the rate of photosynthesis responds to one factor at a time, and there would be a sharp break in the curve and a plateau form exactly at the point where another factor becomes limiting. That means during photosynthesis, if one factor is available in limited quantity, for example light, when light is available in limited quantity, the rate of photosynthesis declines even though carbon dioxide and water are available in proper proportion. So when at such circumstances, when the light intensity is increased, the rate of photosynthesis also increase. So if any one of the factors which is kept constant, say light, is increased, the photosynthetic rate increases again, reaching the optimum where again another factor becomes limiting. So from this we come to know that all factors are essential for photosynthesis in proper amount, and if any one factor is available in limited quantity, then it affects the rate of photosynthesis. Now we will see the last topic, that is significance of photosynthesis. Now photosynthesis produces food for all life forms or living organisms directly or indirectly. Now you know that different kinds of animals are dependent on the plants for their food material. So it provides food to all living organisms directly or indirectly. Similarly, photosynthesis. You know that during photosynthesis, carbon dioxide is used and oxygen is released. So photosynthesis helps to maintain the balance between oxygen and carbon dioxide in the atmosphere and helps to purify the air. Similarly, photosynthesis provides fossil fuels like coal, petroleum and natural gas, which are the main source of energy today. So in olden days, the different plants were buried in the soil and they were converted into fossil fuels, so which we are using at present day. Then oxygen evolved during photosynthesis is used in aerobic respiration. Now aerobic respiration, you know that the organisms which use oxygen are called as aerobic organisms. So the respiration carried by these organisms is called as aerobic respiration. Similarly, oxygen helps in the formation of a protective layer, that is ozone. You know that ozone is helpful to block the ultraviolet rays. So here we have seen the topics, that is factors affecting photosynthesis and significance of photosynthesis. So we have completed the chapter number 12, that is photosynthesis.